Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back into the Players Podcast. On today's episode, we have Ty Buttery of the Los Angeles Angels. Now, Ty is a recently retired MLB closer. I had a chance to sit down with him and talk about his time with the Angels, being teammates with Mike Trout and the GOAT, Shohei Ohtani. And we really talked about everything from him coming up in the major leagues to what he's doing now as a recently retired player. And I'm sure that you guys are going to really enjoy this conversation. I know I did. And as always, please like, share, subscribe. We're really trying to build the pod. We have some great content for you guys on the way. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. Peace. What's going on, guys? Welcome into the Players Podcast. And today we have Ty Buttery. Help me with that name, please. Please.
Buttery.
Buttery? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll start it off with where did you grow up? Where are you from? And what made you get into baseball? Just kind of like your story and your origin of playing baseball.
Yeah, man. I was born in Dayton, Ohio. Well, first of all, Chris, thanks for having me on.
Of course.
I love the Players Pod. I love the branding, dude. You got a sweet thing going on. I respect your work ethic. It's nice to work with people that try and they follow their dreams, bro. So on that note, to answer your question, I was born in Dayton, Ohio. Lived there for 4 years, moved down to Charlotte, was pretty much raised. I mean, I was raised in Charlotte. Um, and I think baseball was always kind of a baseball for me, bro. My dad pitched professionally with the Phillies, like low farm team. Um, it was basically like just kind of the path, like I was a tall kid, super athletic.
Just kind of in
My
the family.
Yeah, like my mom played sports, my sister played sports. We had a very athletic family, and so playing baseball was like I just kind of fell into it. Like my dad let me kind of I played all sports. I mean, he didn't like force me to play baseball. He pushed me, he motivated me. He definitely was a big inspiration to me actually having the work ethic that I have. I mean, he's really, really good on that sense. He knew how to like get the most out of me, my two sisters. Like my sister played Division I soccer at Mississippi State, and my other sister was a stud volleyball player, but she went to Auburn but she was a freak athlete too. And so genetics, man, genetics, and like kind of ran in the family. And that's kind of how I got started with it for real.
Awesome. So my girlfriend actually went to Ole Miss, so I won't hold it. I won't hold it against your sister for going to that
Okay.
school down south.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big rivalry.
Yeah. Well, she's okay. Like it's okay. She's cool, but she went to the wrong school. But so getting into like middle school and elementary school or elementary and middle school, um, when
Yeah.
did you really fall into love with baseball? Like, was it like from the time you were 3 years old, or maybe later on in life? When did that really happen?
So, my mom actually asked me this today. I actually to say I loved baseball, I had my own issues with baseball late in 2021 when I
Hmm.
retired. I made a pretty public statement like I never really cared to play the game. I didn't really care to like be a Hall of Famer and
Yeah,
all-star. I just wanted to make money, have a cool job,
yeah.
and people kind of thought I couldn't do it, and so I just did it. And um that's like a very surface level kind of bird's eye view. Like there's a
Mhm.
lot of different things that go into that, man. Like I pitching for me, like pitching was always kind of elusive to me when I was a young kid. And I was talking to someone about this today. Like baseball has two sports within it, bro. Like it's pitching and then it's playing the game of baseball. Like
Yeah,
and like I loved playing right field. I loved hitting. I loved being in the dugout. Um, I loved stealing bases and throwing guys out, robbing home runs. Like because my brain's always going. Like
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
something to keep my attention. That's just how I am as a person.
I am
And
too.
so like yeah, dude, like pitching was like I was just tall and I could throw a ball really, really hard. And the Red Sox gave me a lot of money out of high school to go
Mhm.
do that. And as I got older, I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be my career, my profession, and this is my job, and I'm going to go play baseball. And yeah, sweet,
Yeah.
I got a lot of money, and holy crap, I'm going to climb the ranks. I'm going to be a big leaguer, and I did.
Yeah.
And then I was going to wanted to be a really, really good big leaguer, and I did.
Mhm.
And then it kind of was like, all right, sweet, that was fun. I'm gonna go do something else now, and I
Yeah.
did.
And that's totally fine. I think a lot of people they don't really understand like, for the kids that are in the Dominican and the Puerto Ricans and whatever, like people see it as an escape for them, but like
Mhm.
people in America I think see it as like the best way to make money playing sports because in baseball it's all guaranteed money. You're not having to get hit. You're not having to worry about concussions. You're not having to worry about, contracts and the market and all this sort of stuff. Like if you play baseball, you're going to get paid at a really high level if you make it there. And it
Well said.
also and it also costs a lot of money to play. Like
Mhm.
bats are, $400, $300, and it's not easily accessible. And I think that's something that a lot of people do not understand. And I mean, it's a problem that I see a lot because it's like you have kids that love this game and that want to play as kids, but then they end up playing football or basketball because it's easier. Like it just is.
Yeah.
Not easier in the skill level, but easier accessibility wise. So you kind of saw it as a way to an end, kind of like, hey,
Mhm.
like this is what I'm gonna do. This is what's gonna set my family up. Um, but going back, like,
And real quick, Chris, I want to add this point too because, dude, there is so much pressure.
oh yeah,
There's
absolutely.
so much pressure, and that to me is where it's like, not that I couldn't handle the pressure. I mean, I was a major league closer. Like I
Yeah.
learned, I battled with anxiety throughout and
Mhm.
performance anxiety. I was a student of the game, bro. But like to do that as my career and as for the rest of my life, to just live in that state.
It wasn't
If
feasible.
if I if I loved pitching, if I
Yeah.
truly like, I just was a pitchy like I was never like I didn't really study pitching, man. Like I just lifted up my leg and just threw the ball as hard as I could,
Yeah.
and I had a wrinkle slider and I threw a two seam changeup and I just tried to throw strikes and it took me really really far. But like
Yeah.
pitching, like you sit around a lot. I love teaching it. I love coaching it. I know a lot about it, but like it just wasn't. It was always like, and when I spoke out on it, like I attacked baseball and I didn't really like going after baseball in that sense. Like I
Yeah.
shouldn't have said it like that. It just pitching was very like you really got to be wired a certain way
Yeah.
to do that for 10, 15 years, man. And I didn't want to keep fighting it. I just was like, dude, I this is cool. Like I did it, but
Mhm.
I don't want to do this till I'm 40. I just don't.
Yeah,
That's
because
just the
you
truth.
because I think like you kind of talked about earlier, like you find other passions and you find other things that you're passionate about, and that's totally
Mhm.
okay. And I think that in sports today, we kind of commercialize and we make these athletes feel like a piece of meat when in reality they're people. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
like I have a girlfriend, you have a fiance, like I guarantee you if half the stuff that was said at major league stadiums was said to them as they were walking down the street, like it would crush them. But
Yeah.
like but there's so much money and there's so much pressure put on it, and I think that that's just crazy. Uh
Yeah. Yep.
but when you were in high school, like so I'm assuming you went to middle school and elementary school in Charlotte.
Mhm.
Um
Yep.
when you got to high school, was that really when you said like, okay, like I see something because whenever I talk to pro guys in the few instances that I've been able to talk to them, they always have a moment where it just clicked. Like it was like,
Mhm.
okay, like it's not if, it's when. It's when I get drafted. It's when I sign my scholarship or whatever. Did you ever have that moment where you just like, okay, it's clicked. This is it.
So I'm a very inwardly competitive person, and I really, really don't like other people being better than me at something. And I won't show it on the outside, but inside, like I remember thinking, man, I should be able to hit like Shohei. Like on his team, I'm like, man, like, dude, I want to be that good. Like, what? Like, it was like making me mad that I wasn't a two-way player. Like, it was making me mad. I was like, dude, like, I want to be a freaking two-way player. Like, dang it, man. Like, and not that I was like jealous. Of course not. I just was like so competitive with that, and like, um, that's how I was as a in middle school and in high school. And so like when I would see my friends get accolades and awards, it turned a fire in me to train harder, to work more. And like that's what fed me is like, man, I can do that. If he can do that, I can do that. I always believe that. Like if that dude is that good at baseball, I should be able to be that good at baseball. He's not anything different. I got the same skin and body as him. Like why is he doing it? Why can't I do it? And that's what took me my whole entire career, man. And like I was the best reliever in baseball in the minor leagues in 2018, and then 2018, and then 2019 I was the best reliever for like 3 months. And I remember getting there and being like, I was like, all right, cool. Like I'm I'm the best, man. This is awesome. And I remember like kind of losing focus and being like, wait a second. This is it. Like this is what I'm going to do for the next 9 to 10 years. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then that's when like I'm not going to say the spiral started because it wasn't a spiral. I just kind of was like, well, I did it. Cool. And then like I started just my reality with it kind of just fell off a little bit, man. And like, but yeah, like so I was always just inwardly super competitive, and that was my drive.
Um, so like you're going through high school. Was college baseball ever an option? I mean, I know, but like, give the people that really don't know your story or don't know who you are, kind of like the grasp on like, hey, like I could have gone to college, but I decided to go play pro ball. Like, I think that's a really big decision that not too many people think of.
Yeah, I was signed to Arkansas University. I committed my junior year. It wasn't like I was dead set. Like I didn't even think really about pro. Like I was like 90, 88, 90.
Hmm.
And then I remember a perfect game tournament. I hit 90, 92, and I was
Okay.
it was sophomore summer. Yeah, sophomore summer hit 92, and I was kind of like, okay, like that was cool. And then like I started getting, I was tall, skinny, had a really really good curveball, big curveball,
Hmm.
and I had a loose arm, and like I started getting some like a lot more college interests, and then Arkansas came in, signed, committed, and like, dude, it happened so quick. I was like, whoa, holy crap. I just committed to Arkansas. Like they're a major D1 program. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to college.
Yeah.
And then like then I hit 94 at an event and I was like, whoa. And that when I hit 94, I had a agent run down after my dad and I. Like this dude was sprinting in the parking lot
Hmm.
and he was like, hi, my name's I'm not gonna say his name. His name was Troy.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, man, like, I just saw you pitch. Like, I wanted to introduce myself. Like," and I was like, he goes, I represent players," and I'm like, my dad and I were like, "Whoa, like,
What? Yeah.
yeah, when did this turn to that?"
Yeah.
And that's after that tournament, man. Like, I started believing. I was like, okay, I can actually turn this. Like, I actually could get drafted. What? And
Yeah.
then senior year, I hit like 97, and I had 30 scouts at every single game, and radar guns, and the whole deal. And then yeah, like
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was really
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah, because for a guy like me who's in the portal after my school shut down in California, like which actually happened in March. So you'll be hearing that episode soon. Crazy stuff. But like when you were in high school and you're seeing 30 scouts behind the backstop, I assume, and
Mhm.
it's kind of funny because they always try and hide. They always try and hide, but they do a horrible job at it. Horrible job. Like they're sitting there just like, okay, okay. And then like you're looking around and you're like little Johnny's parents are sitting there with like a Sprite and a hot dog, and you're just like, who is this dude with this stopwatch? Like, and so like they don't really do a good job of hiding it usually. I mean,
Yeah, no,
because
they don't.
and it's like, oh yeah, like if I show up to a game, I'll be wearing street clothes. And it's like, bro, like I know who you are. Like it's not a secret. But like when you were pitching with these scouts there, did you ever have like a moment where you were just like, man, like holy crap, like that's a lot of people behind the backstop, and I really hope I just don't throw this thing over the backstop. Like, were you just like
Nah,
sitting
man,
there
it
like,
nah, dude, like the thing with me with pitching is like the more pressure, like COVID year was my worst year. The more pressure, the better I did. Like
yeah,
I loved feeling like butterflies and I loved being like, dude, this is like holy crap. This is because it made me focus, and that's what I would do really well in pitching is like when there was a big time, like I really needed to focus, like I needed to do something that was so hard that other
hmm
people couldn't do.
yeah,
Like like when I was the fireman role coming in, bases loaded, in the fifth inning, one out. Like, how do I punch out these two guys and get and save us right here? Like that's so hard to
yeah,
do. And
yeah,
that's kind of what I would do is like I saw that as like an opportunity to be like, man, I'm about to freaking show out right now.
yeah, yeah. Different guys have different ticks. Like for me
Hmm.
as a sidearm guy, like I know I get my 1 inning and I get, my three batters and or whatever. Or if I come in as a setup guy, like I need to do my job and get the heck out of there. Like just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think for different guys, like when you're a reliever, like you're just sitting for a long effing time and you're just sitting there, you're just like, okay, like I just need to get ready for the ninth, or I just need to get ready for the eighth or whatever. And
Yeah.
some guys, I mean, I know you can kind of attest to this more, but like some guys are really joking and they're sitting down watching the game or checking out the chicks behind the bullpen or whatever. Like another guys are
Hmm.
just like
Hmm.
so laser focused to the point where like you can't talk to them.
Right.
But like for me, like that's what I've always kind of done well is like figured out like, okay, this guy I can talk to, this guy I can't. Like I know I can't talk to this psychopath who's our closer. Like I can't talk to him at all until like the eighth inning to be like, hey, like get ready or whatever. But like going forward, like when you were going into a draft, like did you have like teams hitting you up before the draft being like, hey, we're gonna sign you for X amount, you need to take X amount, or we're just gonna move on? Or was it like, hey, like you're a surefire, all your advisors are telling you like, hey, like you're a surefire second round pick, or what? What was that like?
Yeah, so my advisor, my agent at the time, the whole point of the draft was to like not say a number.
Okay.
Because I was kind of like a late, like I started off as like a middle to late first round option,
Mm-hmm.
potentially supplemental, and that was kind of like where I was going to go. And then kind of towards the end of my high school season, my velo, I was like 95, 96 every time, and then
Mm-hmm.
then I was like 90, 93, and so that kind of like started to affect my stock a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. And maybe the pressure of like, holy crap, I got a $2 million, $2 million, 1.5 million, like, I
I just want to play ball.
yeah, like it was kind of like that deal. And I started to like, I mean, I had all 30 teams come in, they would sit down for an hour and a half and they'd ask me all these questions. And and I say that because I'm thinking back and it was like a lot, dude. Like they were like
Mhm.
2 hour meetings after practice and games. Every
And
single
you're
one
going
would
to
come.
school too.
Yeah, like, honestly, it was like it was cool, but it was like, "This is ridiculous, man." Like, my agent said, like, he's like, "Dude, they work like, this is you, man, like, have 3 of them come in and say, 'We got 30 minutes, let's get this thing done,'" like,
Yeah,
and, we gave them each one the time of day, and we talked to them, and we listened to them, and we filled out the sheets and all that stuff, and, like, as the thing went on, the thing that we tried to, like, I remember a scout, when I started losing my velo, called me up into the office of my high school, like, press box to work with me because he wanted me so bad, and he's like, "Dude, you gotta press more into the floor. You gotta do this. You're not doing this right now, like, you're losing velo, man," and I'm like, "Okay," and I'm up in the scout I'm not gonna say that I think I'm not gonna say the name, but,
yeah,
um, this guy was, like, helping me get better because he was trying to fight for me because he wanted, like,
yeah,
he saw me kinda declining a little bit, like, that was pretty
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, dude, it just the whole thing, man, the whole thing was just so
So
crazy, so
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, it was
So
weird.
so on the day of the draft, are you holding a party at the house, or are you renting out a restaurant? Because I know at least in my area, I'm in Memphis,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if you know the name Blaze Jordan. He was
Yeah,
like
dude.
a viral mega sensation, but he rented out like a restaurant here
Is
and
he with
all
the
that
Red
sort of
Sox
stuff.
still?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
He kinda had some anxiety stuff, right?
yeah, so he I don't know him, but
Yeah.
um
I mean, we
it's
all
fun.
have anxieties.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But it's funny because my dad's friend was actually from high school. My dad's friend from high school was his travel ball coach, Tim
Mm,
Dillon. So yeah, side note there.
mm,
But he came out and he said like he basically that he had been depressed and
yeah.
anxiety filled and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, it's
But
tough.
it's crazy because like he's in this area, he was like just like this big donkey who could literally just slap at Oppo, but he couldn't defend.
Mm,
So he got his first round money as a second round pick. You're just like, you got a good agent.
yeah,
That's it, literally.
yeah.
Uh,
I went in the 4th round, and I got 1st round money. My agent did a good job.
good, dang, dude.
Yeah. Your mic.
Damn it, dude. I keep on fucking doing this. I swear to God, I'm gonna throw this fucking thing out the window. Anyway, um, but so you get picked to the fourth round. Um, so as you're sitting there getting picked, like, are you surrounded by your family and friends, or are you just like kind of
Yeah,
alone watching it, or were you just
nah,
I didn't even care?
I had some advice from somebody that we had a lot of, like, talent come through my high school, and he went 2 years before me, or he was a year before me, and he's like, "Dude, don't do a draft party, because if you do a draft party and you don't go where you want, it's like it's just like it's just so kinda, like, weird."
Yeah,
And then, like, dude, I it's cringy to even think about because I didn't do a draft party, and I was like,
no, no, it's fine.
I kinda was falling on I was starting to get some, like, calls, and it was like, "Hey, can you do, like, I'm just gonna say, like, 600,000."
Yeah,
And I was like, "I'm not gonna do that,"
yeah,
Can you do 800?" I was like, "Not gonna do that."
no,
And I know that's, like, I was trying to get something over, like, 1.1, 1.2,
yeah.
and the day of the draft, the my whole entire high school team surprised me and came up to my house, and I'm like, "Crap, like, this is crap." Like, I loved them for doing it, and, like, they're great
Yeah,
guys, but, like, you know
it puts a
and
lot
so
of
this
pressure on you.
yeah, so I can't it just sucks to even say it, but, like, the last pick of the 1st round was a guy named Ty Hensley to the Yankees,
Mm-hmm.
and
Name.
yeah, and so, like, they're like, "And the 30th pick of the 2012 first-year player draft is Ty," and my whole team starts going like, "Yeah, Hensley!" And I'm like and everyone's like, "Oh, man, yeah." So then
Yeah,
we waited so then we yeah. So then we, like waited on the supplemental rounds,
Yeah.
and the supplemental rounds was like, okay, like here we go. Like I think I can get a supplemental round. I got a call from the Cubs, and they wanted to go for like 1.1, and my ego kind of took the best of me. And the thing that was weird is they kept calling my dad. They weren't calling my agent because maybe I don't know if you can call agents when they're technically advisors back then. But like they kept calling my dad, and like my dad's sitting there, and we said no to the Cubs at 1.1, and I was like, crap, like do we want to do this?
Yeah.
And then after we said no, it kind of like these teams, when you say no, boom, you're done,
Yeah.
move
Yeah.
on, next guy. And so like, dude, I was sitting there with my freaking buddies, man, and everyone just like, guys, hey Ty, man, sorry, you got the second round, the third round.
Mhm.
And so I go into school, and like I'm sitting there, and it's like a pretty weird day, and I'm just like, man, I'm going to college. I'm going to college. And
Yeah.
like I'm sitting there on anyways, to answer your question, yes, there's more to this story, but that's where
No,
I
no,
I get into a
you can
draft
keep
party,
going.
bro.
You can keep going.
So like I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of like I'm talking to the Cubs again, and they had another round pick, and they're like, who do you I talked to Theo Epstein on the phone. My high school coach is sitting in front of me, and he goes, who do you compare yourself to? And dude, I said the worst freaking I could have been like Nolan Ryan or
Yeah.
Roger
Somebody
Clemens.
cool.
Yeah, dude. And this guy, I froze. I froze so bad. And the guy had a great big league career, and hats off to him.
Yeah.
But I said I said Doug Fister, an 88, 89 mile an hour sinker baller.
Yeah.
That's like,
Jeez.
he's a great starter, but like I saw myself as like a tall starter. I had a little two seam.
Yeah.
I got a lot of ground balls. And
Yeah.
like Theo Epstein doesn't want to sign a guy that's throwing 88 that thinks he's like an 88, 89 guy.
Yeah.
And like, I was like the one guy again, had I think played like 8 years in the career, like 8 years in the big leagues, but like I froze. I was like, I wanted to
Yeah.
be like, because he's like, why should we overpay you slot?
Mhm.
Like why should
And
we
for
overpay you? Like who do you compare yourself to? And
yeah.
wanted to kind of see what I was made of.
And for
And
and for people who don't know what slot is, it is the value that your pick is slotted at money wise. Continue.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And so and it was the first year that slot became a thing in the draft.
Mhm. I remember that.
Yep, it was the first year, and like if I didn't have slot, dude, like it could have been so much. It was the free market; you could
Money
do whatever you
bags.
want.
Money
Yeah,
bags.
dude.
Money bags.
And guys were getting like $4 million in the 14th round, and it was
Mhm.
crazy. The slot, I was like, dang it, because that's where teams really had to get like certain with their picks.
Mhm.
And so I I said Doug Fister, and he said okay. And I said I should have just been like, I'm like thinking back, I've been like, I don't know, like I don't know who I compare myself to. I'm my own guy. Like
Mhm.
I'm Ty Buttery. Like that's the answer I should have been. Like, and that's the truth. Like I don't know, dude. Like I don't know who I don't know who I see myself as. I'm just I throw 95, 97 if you want to sign me, and I have a good curveball. Like let's go to work.
Yeah.
And I said a guy that throws 88.
Yeah.
And then that was like, and then they ended up picking Dwayne Underwood,
Mhm.
um, hard thrower, and we basically like, he moved on, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to school. I was really set on college, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm like laying on the couch, and I'm like, man, I'm going to college. All right, cool, going to college.
Yep. Going to
And
Arkansas.
my agent calls, and he's like, guys, now or never, you know, and I'm just gonna say he's like 1.3 to the Red Sox in the fourth
Mhm.
round. I'm like,
This is public knowledge, by the way. So you're not letting the people know
yeah, like I'm not
what
like
they
this is
can't
public
look.
knowledge. Like
Yeah,
I feel weird talking about it because it's a lot of money and it's not what I
well,
prefer.
you
But
earned it. Like
yeah, like
you
I
earned
did.
it.
I earned it. I earned it, bro. Like I worked hard for that, and like it's
Hmm.
just the draft story was super weird.
Yeah,
And
of course.
he's like they need an answer. They got 2 minutes. They're on the clock.
Oh,
And
they gave you 2 minutes.
yeah, well, that's how it was like 2 minute picks.
Yeah,
Like they're
yeah.
going through, and I'm
Hmm.
like, he's like, this is the best deal we got, 1.3, and I'm like,
Hmm.
I said, you know what? And I think in my head, and this is terrible. I was set on like 1.5. That was like my number. That
Yeah.
was like, and that's the thing with draft is like drafts guys, they got this number. Like that's my number.
Hmm.
And you stick to that number. You don't drop it, you don't change it, you stick to the
Hmm.
number. And I look at my dad and I was like, the Boston Red Sox?
Yeah,
I was like, that's sick. I was like, that's freaking cool.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, okay,
Mhm.
boom. Hangs up the phone. I go over to my dad's office, and this was the draft wasn't live, it was on the computer.
Yeah,
And my agent was like, congrats, man, you just made $1 million. And I'm like, what?
yeah.
And then right there, I talked to the Red Sox. I was on a flight up to get MRI and get my body checked out, do the physical.
Hmm.
Um, Dude, it was crazy, crazy. Sorry,
Yeah.
that was like a little tangent. I just wanted
No,
to
no, no, no,
get the
no,
whole
no,
draft
no,
story
no, no,
thing
no,
figured
no,
out
no,
for me.
no, no. That's what I like, man. Because people don't see that. Like
Yeah,
they don't hear about the 2 minutes. Click 2 minutes. Click. Oh my god, I got another team calling my dad. Click. Oh my god, I got my agent calling me. Click. Like that's the stuff that people really need to hear because I
yeah,
think a lot of people they go play trap ball. They throw really hard. Whatever. Like so what? You throw a ball really hard, but like when you get drafted, you're an asset to a team. Like you're not just playing baseball. Like it's a business now, and your whole career hands on this thing right here. Hands
crazy,
on
huh?
your ability to throw a ball. But anyway, so you get drafted, and so now you're going to where? Are you going to rookie ball first? Are you going to short season or what?
Yeah, dude. So like, I went to rookie ball, and no, I went to rookie ball. I threw 5 innings, pitched well,
Okay.
but I kind of like lost my velo, and I don't know what.
Okay.
Like, it was weird. Like, I was 95, 97, and then I um I was like kind of like I was 90, 93 forever. And like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, I didn't start throwing hard again until I got put back into a reliever role.
Okay.
And that wasn't until 2016. So from like there was a time where I came into camp. I came into an extended spring training and I was throwing like 87 miles an hour. And I was like, what
Jeez.
the I'm
Yeah.
like, what is going on? Like, and I was doing really, really heavy lifting, no
Mm-hmm.
mobility, no
That'll
flexibility.
get you. You were being a bodybuilder. You were Ronnie Coleman up in that thing.
Yep. And I
Eee.
lost all my mobility, bro. And like it was so bro, I hurt my back. I had a really good 2013 Lowell Spinners, like 60 innings with
Mm-hmm.
like a sub 3 ERA. I wasn't striking out too many guys, but like
Yeah.
was going 5 innings, like really, really good as a starter.
Yeah.
And then like I had a pitching coach that changed my mechanics and screwed me up. And then I got hurt. Then
Mm-hmm.
I was throwing slow. Then I lost my curveball. Then I lost my confidence.
Yeah.
And like, dude, it just was like, I was like, what am I? But like, I was still training, still working hard. And then
Mm-hmm.
finally, I got put into the reliever, and then I started throwing the 102, and I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And
This
then I
is
got
sick.
traded.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool. Traded, boom, to the big leagues.
Yeah.
Made myself a little good
So,
2.5, 3 year career.
oh yeah, absolutely. But so you mentioned trade. So you were traded for one of my favorite players, Ian Kinsler.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nuts. So you were traded from the Red Sox to the Angels. Now at this point, were you thinking like I needed like maybe this thing can be good for me, maybe this can pan out, maybe this is my shot to go to big leagues, or were you just thinking, oh screw it, they traded me?
No, I was really really mad at the Red Sox. I
Okay.
really wanted to get called up with them, man. Like I that organization they're so first class, bro. Like
Mhm.
they treat their players so well. That was like my family, and I'm like, what the hell, man? Like I'm the best reliever in minor league baseball across the board. My stats, my
Mhm.
ERA. I'm like, why can I not get called up? I was on the 40 man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, dude, what am I missing? I'm striking out two guys in an inning. Like, call me up. Like, let's go. And I stayed in the minors for like, 2.5 or 3.5 months.
Mhm.
Right. Trade deadline came around and then boom, got traded. I'm like, okay, cool. The Angels, like, all right.
Yeah.
And I kind of like was thinking, okay, this is it. Like, this is when
That's
it's
it.
all gonna happen. And
This is a shot.
yeah, that was kind of like I knew when I got traded. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the big leagues here soon.
Okay.
And I debuted like a week. I went to AAA for a week and got called up.
August 16th, 2018 was your
Yeah.
debut. So
Yep.
on that day, did you because I've talked to a couple guys that made their debut, and man, they always talk about how there's always crazy stuff that happens on debut days. Like whether
Yeah.
they're whether they're flying from, Tacoma, Washington all the way to New York City or something like that. Did anything like that happen to you like when you made your debut?
I had a really bad cold. I didn't sleep at all, and I was like, "This sucks. Really?
Yeah.
No sleep. Got a cold. This is terrible." Okay. And I went from Salt Lake, and I flew into the club was playing in Arlington.
Okay.
And I remember showing up to the hotel and seeing Justin Anderson in the elevator and being like, that guy, I didn't really know
Mhm.
the guys at the time. And like, we both kind of looked at each other like, oh, you're the guy that we just traded for. You just got called up.
Mhm.
I looked at him and I'm like, you're definitely a pitcher and you throw probably gas. And
Mhm.
Ando threw hard. He was like 98 to 100.
Yeah.
Great slider.
Yeah.
Great dude too, by the way. Um, And so like I'm just, I'm kind of like nervous and just kind of like sitting there quiet, I'm
Mhm.
just sitting there and I get out and I get a hold. Like my first opportunity, I got a hold opportunity.
Mhm.
So she called me in and my very first pitch, Delano DeShields Jr. He
Junior. Wow. I saw his dad play.
yeah, so I come in and dude, I had like a little ride run on my fastball
Mhm.
and he squares around the bunt and the ball he went to bunt but his finger because he squared around it was a strike
Mhm.
and then I hit him right on the hand and broke his
Oh
finger
my god.
and it was like a 15-minute delay like he went off the field then he came
Yeah.
back on and I'm like what and I'm just like sitting here and then finally he knew it was broken comes
Yeah.
back he goes down comes back. I throw another fastball and he gets like a little ground ball, like rollover
Mhm.
fielding. I go to get it. I gun it to Pujols at first base, and I'm like, I just got my first out, dude. Let's go.
Dude,
Like
yeah.
I did it. Like let's sweet man. I didn't walk him. I didn't give a hit. And
Yeah.
then I got another guy out, and then Senshu Chu, I think Senshu
Yeah.
Chu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's his name.
bro.
It's a
He
tongue
went
twister.
96. I went 96 up and away and this dude smoked to double off the left field fence, and I'm
It's
like,
like, welcome,
thank God it didn't go
welcome,
out.
welcome to the bigs.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, dang. I was like, that. Yeah, he did that right there,
Welcome to the big leagues moment.
and I stranded him, got the hold, and then I got the closing job, and I got like 9 saves that year. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know. I went on the little MLB video, whatever the heck they call it now. It's like the little like video capture thingy, like where you can go on
Yep.
MLB.com and you just search up a player. Yeah. But no, that's cool. So like, so you make your debut. Are you looking around like, dude, like I'm playing with Mike Trout, Pujols, like Are you looking around like, holy crap, dude? I just saw these guys like not too long ago playing on TV. Like, oh my god, what is life? Or are you just like, yeah, I got this?
Nah, man, I was definitely like, I was sitting there. Pujols, Pujols was like, that was the most starstruck guy. Like, I was like, this is Albert Pujols. Like, on the kind of the tail end of his career. Like, what? Like,
Yeah,
I was like, that dude right. I was like, that's Albert Pujols right there. Like, that's
Hall
the
of
guy.
Famer.
Yeah, like that guy's a Hall of Famer. Holy crap! Like, and it's super serious. Like, just kind of business guy, man. And
Mm-hmm.
then like Trout was and then obviously like seeing Trout, I didn't say anything to him when I first got the team. He didn't say anything to me. And I just remember looking at him being like, this guy is so athletically built and put together. Like his body, I'm like, this guy should be a freaking NFL linebacker. Like an actual like he's jacked. Like he's jacked, he's put together, he's fast, he has power. I
Yeah,
want to say I want to say when I was there, no, he wasn't on the DL. I don't know if he was. I think maybe I don't know if it was. No, he wasn't on DL. Um, but that was pretty cool seeing him, and I was a big fan of Justin Upton too, and Justin Upton was there,
yeah,
and so, like that was that was fun, man. Andrelton
yeah.
Simmons, like that was cool. That was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard Justin Upton's like a really stand up guy from every
Yeah,
podcast I've listened to, every
he's a pro's
YouTube
pro,
video
man.
that I've watched about him. Like he and his brother, they kind of they're just like pros. Like you really
Yeah.
can't like look at them and be like, oh no, they just kind of do this as a side gig. Like no, they care.
Hmm.
Um, but you know, we kind of touched on it earlier. Playing with the Angels, like at that time, it was kind of a crazy time. You guys kind of went through a lot. With Trout being hurt and pull holes and that whole contract situation being kind of one of the most horrible contracts ever. But we're not going to talk about that. Um, but you guys unfortunately went through a bad situation with Tyler Skaggs. I would be
Hmm.
remiss if I didn't hit on that. Um, how was he as a teammate and how was he as a guy?
I have the most respect for Tyler and his family, man. Like that guy, he was a leader. He was cool to everybody. He had swag. He had confidence. He was he just like dude. He was an ace, man. Like he's what teams build around. Um, Never was a dick. Never once like made fun of
Mm,
guys. Didn't bully guys. Pick guys up. He
pays
would
guys, yeah,
yeah. Like he didn't like he was a leader, bro. Like he was an actual leader, and like he kind of just like he just kind of had the thing, dude. Like he had the thing, and um, man, that was just it was so sad, dude. Like it was so
yeah.
sad. Like it was a terrible, terrible time, and I lost my brother-in-law a week earlier
Oh,
uh to the same thing that happened to
wow.
Tyler. Yeah, and so
So sorry
like
to
it
hear
was
that.
yeah, man. It was
Yeah,
he was
so
an
sorry
awesome
to
guy
hear
too. He
that.
was freaking good looking kid, confident man, like awesome, like successful dude. Like it's a nasty thing that's going on in the country right now. Like they really need to figure out
How to
how
fix it.
to yeah to fix it, man. Like it's it's
Absolutely.
it's it's terrible, bro. It's so bad. But
Yeah.
I love that family. I love the Tyler Skaggs Foundation. I just it just sucked, man. Like it was really weird. Like
Yeah.
it was super weird. Like it was I don't even like I can't even describe it to you because
Mhm.
it just happened and you're just like, wait, what? Like
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
even you can't even comprehend it. Like it's just something that you're just kind of numb. Your mic.
Fucking hate myself. Anyway. But so we kind of touched on a Skag situation. So then I think he died in, correct me if I'm wrong, 2019,
Mhm.
2019, if
Mhm.
I'm not mistaken. So then you're still in the big leagues for 2 more years after that. You never get sent back down. That's insane because like you had kind of been. in the minors, and now you're kind of like a mainstay in the big leagues. You're like, dude, I got this closer role. It's pretty sick. I'm living in Anaheim. I lived out in California for a little bit. In Southern California, you can't beat it.
No,
Except
you
for
can't.
except for the prices, of gas, food, everything
Yeah,
else,
that's is pretty ridiculous.
and the traffic. But
Hmm.
anyway, so you get into this closer role, and are you kind of at this point, like after that whole Skag situation, feel like, man, like I don't love baseball. I don't want to play it. Because in April of 2021, you stepped away from the game in kind of a public way, and I'm gonna let you touch on that. But did it just feel like it was the right time, or did that situation have an effect on it, or what was that like?
Uh, yeah, man, like I've been like pretty. Uh, it was COVID really like kind. I'm not gonna blame COVID, dude, but like COVID, like it kind of woke me up a little bit. Like it woke me up that like
Mhm,
everything, and I'm not gonna get into like conspiracies or anything, bro, but like it woke me up that like everything that we live and do is kind of a like it's like really like we're just
mhm,
act like everything was normal. Everything was
mhm,
life was good. Everyone was chilling. We had no big problems. And then the world just completely went into chaos, completely lost its mind. And like all of a sudden everyone's doing like, it's like, wait a second, like it's what? Like is the world ending? Like is COVID gonna just kill all of us? And
mhm,
like and I started just kind of like really waking up to like how stuff was run and how people act and do things. And I'm a baseball player, and like this is what I'm doing.
mhm.
I have to act like I'm just here playing baseball, and
With
meanwhile the
no with
country is,
no with no fans, no
yeah,
nothing.
like no fans. I'm like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
what is this? Like, this isn't like I have to act like I care right now. Like, there's no fans. We spit into a cup every time we show up to the field. Everyone thinks like you're either, you know, uh, this person or this side of political party, and
Mhm.
you have to identify the
And you're just trying to
identity.
play baseball. You're
Yeah,
just
dude,
trying to
like
play baseball. You're like you're
identity
trying you're trying to do your
politics.
job.
Yeah, man, like it got super, super political and it got really intertwined. And I'm like, what
This is
is
not
going
why I
on?
play baseball.
Yeah, man, like I just want to throw and compete. Like I want to throw and compete. And when COVID happened, it kind of woke me up outside of just baseball. It woke me up to politics. It woke me up to what am I doing? Do I want to do other things? Do I want
Mhm,
to what hobbies do I want to chase? And I did a ton of entrepreneurship with my wife. I
mhm.
had so much fun with that. We lived in an RV.
Sick, dude.
I kind of just stopped living how I'm supposed to live, and I started to live how I wanted to live.
Mhm.
And then I finally just kind of came to the realization that I want to do other things. Like I want to
Yeah,
go do other things in life. I just do. Like I don't want to be here away from my family forever. I just don't.
yeah.
Like it's a great job and it's awesome, and I wish maybe I didn't be so dramatic about my post, and I wish
Mhm,
maybe I handled the situation a little bit different. Like it was a pretty irrational thing in the way I left. Like, I'm very aware of that, and but at the same time, I stick by everything I said.
mhm,
I don't regret it because I learned so much.
mhm,
It's why I'm here. And it's why my wife launched a convention with 200 people, and she's doing business. And
mhm.
we created a nonprofit in the Virgin Islands in Honduras. Like
That's awesome.
I did things I never would have done because of that decision. And so, like, you know, 2021, I remember being very heated. Like I remember coming in and just like people would say stuff and I'd be like, bro, like don't talk to me like that. Like
Yeah.
don't talk to me like that.
You
Like I don't
you
know
so you were kind of just on edge. Like
yeah, I
you
was
couldn't
super
you
on edge.
couldn't you couldn't be talked to, like I
Yeah.
I know I know guys in baseball that are like that,
Yeah.
and you kind of get a sense of how to operate around them. Like, okay, he has his morning routine, or maybe he needs to have his coffee or whatever. But like guys kind of slowly figure out like I don't really need to be around this guy. If he strikes out, like I'm getting out of the way, or like, or maybe
Mine
him,
was
or
mine, Chris, mine was more like it wasn't like the routine. I just like didn't tolerate any bullshit. And like that's
okay,
just the truth. Like I didn't tolerate disrespect. Like I didn't
yeah,
tolerate like you're not gonna tell me what to do.
yeah.
Uh
Oh
like
wow,
I'm not gonna be fake. I'm not gonna like play this agenda. Like I am strictly going to do what Ty wants to do.
yeah,
And and then I got a little angry with it. I felt like I had a lot of anger towards the game. That's the part I regret. I regret being angry,
at baseball.
at baseball. Like I shouldn't have done it that way, man. Like it got a little weird and like
Yeah,
but at the time that's just how I felt. And like I was gonna
yeah,
see that through, bro. Like I was sick and tired of like being fake. I just was.
mhm,
Like I was like,
yeah.
dude, like I'm gonna take the veil off. Here's here
Kissing babies and signing everything, and just you want to
yeah,
be a
dude.
normal person.
Normal person, normal
Yeah,
person. I want to go build businesses and figure life out. And,
yeah.
I
'Cause
just, and I just, I axed it, bro. I axed it. Life got really crazy for Sam and I. And
mhm,
then I came back and it just really hasn't been, it hasn't been the same. I
mhm,
haven't been able to have that edge like I had.
yeah,
And I'm 31 and, here I am, dude, just
yeah.
kind of chilling
So
and honestly having a blast. So like, I'm having a really good time
yeah.
right now.
So I know you mentioned it, but so you come back in 2023 with the Astros
Mhm.
and
Yeah, 2022 was on
2022.
the was on the restricted list. When I left, Perry told me he's like, "Hey Ty, like we're
Mhm.
gonna have to put you on the restricted list, bro. Like
Yeah.
can't just leave baseball and like you got we got to put you on this list."
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
"That's fine. Put me on the list, no problem." Option me. Everyone thinks I left ball because I got optioned. That's
No.
not true at all. I was gonna break with the club. That was the subsequent move for when I wanted to leave ball. Okay, we're gonna option you. Cool, option me. Awesome.
Mhm.
And I was like, and here I go. And
Mhm.
so I basically just was like at a point where, you know, I came back and I was back on the restricted list and I went to AAA in 2022. I was 260 pounds. I was throwing
Jeez. So
92
you so
miles.
you so you were so you were in Sugarland with the Astros, huh?
No, went back to the Salt Lake Bees.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Sorry.
2020,
Wrong minor league team.
2023, I was with the Astros, and then this last year I was with Tacoma.
Shit, my
Or
bad.
this year I was with Tacoma. Yeah,
Well, fuck, man. Well, so you come back and you do okay. Like you're not, setting
yeah,
the world on fire. Like
yeah.
it's not
It's a
the
good way to put it.
biggest, I mean, you're not setting the world on fire. You're, doing okay, but you're not back to that level. And then you kind of sign with the Mariners. Where'd that come from?
Dude, I went to the Dominican and I went on like a crazy like bender of just like training, like I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna get it back. Like,
Yeah.
I went to did my old routines, through all my old stuff. I was like, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I paid thousands of dollars to work with the best coaches, tens of
Hmm.
thousands of dollars for training and all that. And like my body and my dude, it just like something was different. Like I wasn't moving well.
Hmm.
I was doing all these. My wife just texted me and she said something funny. Um, and I'm like, it just ain't like clicking, bro. It's just not
Yeah.
happening. Like,
Yeah. It's
uh,
kind of it's kind of your time. Like you kind of knew it was your time. Like you were kind of like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot, but like it's my time to, maybe move on and do different things. And you're doing that now, and you're doing it with your wife, and y'all are basically like a power couple. So like, like so
yeah,
you
bro.
go, and you try and play like at this point, like, are you actually trying to give it a shot? Like, are you just kind of doing it just to kind of please other people or
Bro, Chris, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've done a lot of podcasts, and this is probably like you're like the best. Honestly, bro, like you're really, really good at your job. Just so you know,
oh,
like
thank you.
I haven't answered like I haven't had questions presented this way, dude. Like, you're freaking good, dude. Like,
Thank you.
you keep doing this, man. Like, honestly, like it's fun to talk about this, and usually it's kind of like a drag to talk about these things. And like it just anyways, yes, I ask your question one more time. I'm sorry.
So like were you doing this just to kind of like please other people, or were you just like, screw it, I'm gonna give it a shot, and if it
I
happens, if it doesn't.
So I remember sitting when I came back and Sam and I were doing all these businesses and we were doing a lot of stuff and I was like, babe, I'm like, I gotta go back to baseball. I'm 29. Like, I was like, I
Yeah.
gotta go
Hey,
back. Like,
I'm 25, so right in that same age area.
yeah. And I'm just like, it's like, babe, I gotta go back. Like, what we've done for the last year and this, content house and all the social media stuff we did was fun, but like, gotta get real, babe. Like, I gotta get a job. Like, I can't, we can't just keep doing this. Like,
Mhm.
we were living a crazy
Mhm.
lifestyle, dude. One day I'll tell the whole thing. I'm not ready to tell the whole thing.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Um, I'm like, she was she was working. I'm like, I'm gonna call my agent and I'm gonna go back. And I did. And
Yeah.
it just, dude, it just was so freaking weird, man. Like coming back to the Angels, like baseball completely moved on. Like, no one gave a crap. Not that I wanted people to
Yeah.
care. I just like baseball moved on, man. It's competition, bro. Like, okay, you're out, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
Oh, you're coming back. All right, cool. Can you play? Can you perform? Nope. Okay, go to AAA or release. And like, dude, it's just like, and then I got DFA'd in June, and I was like, what the heck? Like, I just got DFA'd.
Mhm.
Um, what the heck's going on? And so I yeah, like I just kind of happened like that. Like but to answer your question, like I went back because I felt like I had to. I had to earn,
Yeah.
I had to get a job. I needed to pay. I needed to
Mhm.
create income. I realized it was kind of irrational the way I left and kind of like, dude, you could have done it a little bit differently. It didn't have to be that
Mhm.
dramatic. You didn't have to be.
So you kind of felt like you kind of had to make amends with kind of
Yeah,
your inner
yeah,
demons, and
yeah,
also to kind of the world at a large scale.
yeah. Like, cause every dude, I had freaking the Time magazine came down. Like, Time magazine wanted to do a whole entire like photo shoot, and we did. I mean, we did this whole thing, and the article got axed. I don't know what happened to it. I think something my agent at the time probably said like my agent was like, dude, stop talking. Like, we gotta
Yeah.
we gotta drop this thing, bro. Like, this is super volatile. Like what you said.
Mhm.
Like people did not like me saying what I said. Like it
Oh yeah,
was
I saw the article.
yeah, like
I saw articles about it. I saw everything, and
but
I don't.
it was 50-50. Like people hated it or
Yeah.
people loved it. And I was like, bro, I was just truly speaking from my heart. I wasn't trying to like it blew up and like
Mhm.
it got like to this point where I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, and then like people just started like ghosting me completely, like,
Mhm.
screw this guy, he's a quitter, he doesn't, he took everything for granted,
Mhm.
and like get him out of baseball, blah 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 blah. And then people are
Yeah.
like, oh my god, Ty, I love, and it was so freaking weird, dude.
Yeah.
And
And
that's the part that I'm like, I just I was so fed up with just doing it that it all just came out and like,
yeah, of
yeah,
course.
it was weird, bro. It was a weird time.
Of course. So I know you were kind of teammates with Rendon, right?
Mhm.
So you were kind of
I
like,
love that guy.
yeah,
It's so real.
and I think I mean, from my point of view, he's misunderstood. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of the media and I think a lot of people don't really understand, like, the guy has to do something to put food on his table, and
Yep.
like that thing is being really good at baseball, and like it can't always be like, hey, I go into a 9 to 5 and that's how I did it. I'm so great. But like, no, he was blessed by the gods to be able to hit a baseball really hard and really far, and to be able to be, a gold glove third baseman, and he got paid. And so I think when somebody puts out that big time statement or whatever, like people are gonna obviously see it and they're gonna have their own opinions and let them form their own opinions. But I don't think that people humanized what you said because if it was their brother, their sister, their son, like they wouldn't care. They'd be like, yeah, he's doing the right thing. But like, I think in your stance in your situation, like people looked at it as, "Oh my god, he's horrible," or, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
he's great for speaking the truth." Like, there was no one way about it. So, obviously,
Mhm.
so you get
Mhm.
released by the Mariners, like, recently, right?
I asked for my release. They put
Yeah.
me on they put me on the dev list, and I respectfully just said, "Guys, listen, I appreciate the time." Um, and I was pitching. I mean, I was like lights out. Like I had the third highest swing or second highest swing and miss rate on my fastball in all of minor league baseball. Like I was blowing fastballs by guys, but then like I would have these games where I would give up 3, 4, 5 runs. Like guys were hitting 320 off me.
Mhm.
Like I was throwing 97, 98. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, what is going on? Like I killed spring training. I thought I was actually gonna break with the club. I'm like, I'm back, dude. I'm freaking back. Like I was loving
Mhm.
it. Had the best spring training, like having so much fun.
Mhm.
And then I went to AAA and I'm like, okay, like, I'll go back, I'll go AAA, like I'll find and like it just dude, it just like my slider, like it wasn't as effective. My changeup, I wasn't throwing it a lot. I
Mhm.
was just throwing a ton of fastballs and like it it just like the PCL too doesn't help. PCL sucks. Like that's an
Yeah.
excuse, but yeah, dude, like it just kind of now I'm at the point where I'm like, do I keep chasing it? Do I keep chasing it? Do I keep trying to get back,
Mhm.
or do I just respectfully
Right
maybe
off into sunset.
yeah, right off in the sunset, say, it was a great time. I'm not gonna make a big post. I'm not retiring, but I'm keeping my options open. Like,
Yeah.
we'll see we'll see. I'm doing a lot of lessons. I'm doing private
Mhm.
coaching and stuff, which I love
Yeah.
coaching. I love doing that. I love training.
Yeah.
I'm I'm teaching people the things I've learned in 13 years. Like I do a lot of social media content. I may get a job, I don't know, dude. Like I'm 31. Daniel Bard came back at 37. Like,
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows
From
what's
the
gonna happen?
yips. From the yips. Let's be real. The yips are real. They're
Yeah.
real, and it is a mind-boggling thing that happens. But,
Yeah.
um, yeah, man. So did you ever play in Memphis as part of the PCL?
No, no, no,
Okay,
never played there.
because
Mm-mm.
we
But
live because we live 10 minutes away from the stadium. So yeah.
okay, got
Hope y'all enjoyed that interview with Ty. I know I did, and be sure to check out all the links in the description. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Just share the pod. We're really trying to grow this over here. So I'd really appreciate it. Peace.